straight line depreciation. So the first thing we're going to look at is percentage decrease. So you should know that a new vehicle loses around 30 to 40% of its value in the first year. And that's because of age, wear and tear, or simply becoming outdated when there's like a new model that comes. So having a look at our first example, we're just going to quickly revise that decrease or a percentage decrease. A Skoda was purchased for $25,000 and decreased in value by 28% in its first year. To the nearest dollar, what is its value after 1 year? Well, we know that we start with 100%, and I'm going to do a decrease, so I'm going to take away 28%, and I'm left with 72%. So to find out the value after 1 year, I'm going to find 72%, 72 over 100, of that $25,000 brand new car. And I see that my car is now worth $18,000. And that's how easy it is. So if I have a look at my next question, a new Porsche was purchased for $115,600 and after 12 months was valued at $102,580. What is the percentage decrease in price to the nearest whole number in the first year? So what we need first is we need a decrease. So to work out the decrease, I simply have what I bought the car for, whoops, 600, take away the 102,580, and we can see it is decreased by $13,020. So now I need to look at a percentage decrease. So to work out my percentage decrease, I'm going to put my decrease, and I always put it over what the car was to start with. So in this case, it's 115,600, and then I multiply that by 100%. And your calculator gives you an answer of something like 11.2629, which is 11% to the nearest whole number. So that now brings us to our straight line method for calculating depreciation. The value of an item decreases the same amount each year. This could be represented by a straight line graph of the form y equals mx plus b. And I think in this new course it's called y equals mx plus c. So if I was to write this, y equals mx plus b, if I think about straight line depreciation, if this is the cost of my car to start with, what happens is it decreases in value by the same amount every year. And therefore, if I was to graph it, I would graph a straight line. Now this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. The formula for straight line depreciation is S equals V0 minus dn, where S is the salvage value, so what the car is worth at the end of a period of time. V0 is the initial value of the car. D is the amount of depreciation per period, and N is the number of time periods. So on my straight line graph, instead of having an x-axis, I have an N, which is my time periods, and instead of a y-axis, I have my salvage value. And the depreciation, this one here, is the gradient of my graph. And that's something important to note. So initially, we're going to be given a formula and we're going to use that formula. So here's an example. A car that is purchased for $28,000 depreciates by $2,000 each year. Calculate the salvage value of the car after 3 years. So let's have a look at part A. Calculate the salvage value of the car. Well, I know the initial cost, which is $28,000. I know my depreciation because it depreciates by $2,000 every year. I know my time periods because it's 3. And I also know the formula is S equals V0 minus dn. So my salvage value is what I'm trying to find. And all I'm doing now is substituting into this equation. And when I do that, I get the answer of $22,000. So the salvage value of the car is $22,000. So part B, it says, after how many years will the car be valued at 0? And I just put a note here that says, in real life, cars are often written off before they depreciate to 0. But this question is, we're being told our final value, it's 0. My initial value is 28,000. I should say my final value is 0. N is what I'm trying to find, and my depreciation is still that $2,000 per year. So now using my formula, I get S equals V0 minus Dn, and then I'm going to show my substitution, and then we're going to solve this simple equation. So I'm going to move 28,000 to the other side, or I could move the minus 2,000n. In fact, I think I might move the minus 2,000n to the other side because then I'm not dealing with negative numbers. And then I'm going to divide by 2,000. And what I end up with is that n is equal to 14 years. So looking at the next question, a truck costs $300,000. The value of the truck is depreciated by $35,000 per year. When the value of the truck falls below $50,000, the truck can be written off for tax purposes. Calculate the number of years after which the truck should be replaced. So let's have a look at what we know. We know that the salvage value that we're looking for is $50,000 because our truck's going to be written off when it gets to that. My initial value is $300,000. I know my depreciation rate because it's $35,000 per year, and I'm trying to find n. So here is my formula, S equals V0 minus Dn. I'm told my salvage value is 50,000. My initial value was 300,000. My depreciation is 35,000, and then I've got an n. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 300,000 to the other side. So if I do 50,000 minus 300,000, I get negative 250,000 equals negative 35,000 n. And now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 35,000, and I get n equals 7.14. And so I'm going to say n is approximately equal to 7 years. So after 7 years, we could say that our truck has been written off. And now for example number 3, up here, I'm going to be drawing a graph of this. So to draw a graph of this, we know that the car is purchased for $28,000 and it depreciates by $2,000 each year, and it's written off after 14 years. So looking at drawing my graph, along the bottom, I need to have this axis go up to 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 14. And I know my car might started out as being 28,000. So I need to, along my y-axis, take this up to 28,000. So along here is N, and along here is S. So I'm going to go up in $2,000. And to draw my graph, I know I'm starting at 28,000, and I know after 14 years my value is 0. And to graph a straight line, all I need is 2 points, and then you will need to use a ruler and draw a straight line. So n, you should say, is in years, and the salvage value is in thousands of dollars. And there we go. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.